Let's set the scene. It is 1814. Napoleon has been defeated, Europe is being rearranged, and the Congress of Vienna is trying to put the political furniture back where it thinks it belongs. Easy in theory, very messy in practice.
Yes, and this is exactly the problem. A citizen should not need a map, a scholar, and perhaps a saint to know which law applies. The situation is fragmented, confused, uncertain.
Fragmented, yes, but one must be careful. Diversity in law is not always mere disorder. It may also reflect the actual life of different communities, their institutions, their history, their habits.
And that gets us to the big question. After Napoleon, after reform, after all this political shaking, should the German states create one civil code for all Germans?
And I would answer just as plainly, not so fast. Law is not a coat to be cut quickly because the season has changed. It belongs to a people in a deeper way. If you force unity too soon, you may produce not living law, but an abstraction.
So this isn't just a technical legal fight. It's also about what law is. Is it something lawmakers can design from above when the moment calls for it? Or is it something that grows over time from history, custom, and social life?
Exactly. And I do not deny history. But history cannot become an excuse for delay forever. There are moments when confusion itself becomes harmful. People need certainty. Judges need guidance. Legal life needs form.
So we've got the stage set. Post-Napoleonic Europe, German states with different legal traditions, and one sharp question hanging over all of it. One code for all Germans? Or not? That is where Thibaut and Savigny collide. Professor Thibaut, make the case. Why one code?
Because law should serve life, not confuse it. A single civil code would bring order. It would bring certainty. And yes, it would support unity among Germans. When rules are scattered, justice becomes uneven. The learned may navigate it. Ordinary people cannot. I do not say that writing alone solves everything. I say that codification is necessary when legal materials are too dispersed and too uncertain. Law should be known. It should be taught clearly. It should not hide in old commentaries and regional habit.
And I say law does not begin in commentaries nor in decrees. It grows slowly from custom, institutions, and the common life of the people. Jurists do not invent it from nothing. Legislators do not summon it into being by decision alone.
But if law grows, as you say, then it can also be gathered, clarified, and expressed. Why leave it in fragments? Why accept uncertainty as though it were wisdom?
I do not praise uncertainty. I warn against premature certainty. That is different. A code demands maturity. It presumes that legal science has done its work, that the national legal life has reached a stage where reduction into fixed articles will not distort it.
So Thibaut says the disorder is already the danger. Savigny says the cure could be worse, if it comes too early.
Yes, and let me add one thing. A common code is not only about convenience, it has civic value. Shared law can help create shared public life. It can give people confidence that they belong to one legal world, not 20 little ones.
That sounds attractive. But unity in law must rest on genuine development, not desire alone. A people is not made whole because a text says so. Law has roots. If you neglect the roots, the structure may look clean and still be weak.
And yet, roots are not enough if the branches are tangled beyond use. Forgive the image. It is a little botanical. But the point is simple. Government and courts need a workable system.
And that's the core split. Thibaut wants a civil code to create clarity, order, and a common legal horizon. Savigny says law has to emerge from historical life and cannot be rushed into a neat book just because the political moment feels urgent. Okay, and right on cue, we have a call coming in from Berlin. Perfect timing, honestly. Hegel is joining us.
Good evening. I have listened, and I think there is truth on both sides. First, I agree with Savigny that law should not be rushed. If one writes a code before the life of a people and its institutions are ready, then the result may be empty or merely external. In this, he is right to be cautious. But I also agree with Thibaut that a written code can be useful. Indeed, it can be very useful if it reflects the rational state and not just arbitrary will. A code is not bad because it is written. The question is whether it expresses a real ethical and political order.
Yes, that is at least close to my point. Law must become clear and objective in institutions.
And I can accept that writing is not the enemy. My concern remains the timing and the foundation.
Then perhaps the disagreement is not absolute. One side fears confusion, the other fears abstraction. Both fears are reasonable.
That is a very Hegel way to enter a debate. No shouting, just a slight change in altitude.
I shall take this as kindness.
You should, and that's the shape of it. In 1814, the question of codification was really a question about history, statehood, and what law even is. Thibaut presses for unity through a common code. Savigny anchors law in historical growth. And Hegel, calling in from Berlin, says, "Don't rush it, but don't dismiss a code if it truly fits a rational state."